I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
we are
so
the WAT network.
and we're trying something new, so we decided that we would, instead of creating long, like in our podcast, we would have one section for movies
Yeah,
and stuff. We would just do, something
short.
short reviews and like have actually concise points rather than ramble on.
Yeah.
And then do our podcast about something that's completely different and fun and interesting, or
Yeah.
something wacky, which they'll find out. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, because I think movie reviews and TV show reviews are kind of niche. So whoever
Yeah.
wants to watch them slash read them or see them can do that
Yeah.
separately now.
And then it's hard to, when it's like there's so much in the podcast and then just skip out a whole bit.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd just remove it and create something separate, small 10-minute video.
Mhm.
That's what we're going to try to stick to. So since we're keeping it short, let's just start.
Yeah. I mean, so we're starting off with the first show, I
Yeah.
guess. And this is like this is a show that I have personally talked about quite a bit on Instagram, and it's HBO's, not Game of Thrones,
Yes.
not Game of Thrones, but it's their mini documentary series called Chernobyl,
Mhm.
which is based on the actual Chernobyl event that happened in 1986. Yeah.
Mhm.
And basically it's like a retelling of everything, that the events that led up to it and after. So yeah, when I told you to watch it and you
Yes.
started watching it, what did you think about it?
I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
I actually love the storytelling. Like, okay, so this.
Okay, before we jump into spoilers, do you want to give an initial
Yeah, that's what I was
rating?
saying. Yeah, give a rating out of 10.
I would say it's like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I was gonna go with the same thing. It's a 9 out of 10 for
There,
sure.
I don't think there's many shows that can come to like a 10 out of 10.
Yeah, it still has. I know. You see, the thing is, like, I'm
It doesn't
trying to.
have flaws, but
Yeah.
it's like, the thing is, if you don't so now this is like the spoiler bit. It's not heavy spoilers, but light spoilers, because I feel like to actually get the whole premise of, you need to watch it.
Mhm.
But the first episode and then the last episode are like phenomenal.
Yeah.
And like episode 3 and 4 are like kind of like filler episodes, because it's not that much happens. If you get what I'm saying, it's like a lot of downtime.
Yeah, that's fair. But I still think it's funny because I thought I agree with you. The first and last episodes were a standout because it's
That's why most
Yeah.
of the action, like
Yeah.
most of the stuff that
but
actually happened.
I thought the middle episodes were just as phenomenal because there's this whole constant battle between the government and
Yeah,
what
yeah.
the gossip is trying to achieve. There's a whole finding out of why exactly, because they set it up at the start. Why? How does an
RPMK.
RPMK reactor?
So please tell me how an RBMK reactor core explodes. Not a meltdown, an explosion.
Trying to find that out, and I thought that was like I thought they would stretch it out too much and the pacing would be horrible.
No, it's not like the pacing is horrible or anything, but it's like I get why they did like at the middle episodes. It gives us all the time to like process whatever happened after all the efforts that they tried to do to like make sure that something bad doesn't happen again, or like something worse doesn't come out of what has already happened. But when you compare like the first and last episodes, like there is a lot more like that. There's a lot more that you learn about the event itself.
That's
So if you want to know about like the event itself, the first and last episodes are the ones that would give you the most information.
especially science-wise, like
Yeah.
the science behind it. Like if you're actually interested, because you think about it and you realize that we all know the reactor exploded, we just don't know how. And for everything we always know how it came about. How it like ended up.
Yeah.
Like for example, like if swine flu come, when swine flu, we all knew like where it originated from, what it does, but no one knew that about the reactor. We just knew it exploded and we can't go there.
Yeah.
And the science behind it is actually really fascinating. And but yeah,
There's like that whole court, the court scene
yeah.
is so intense. Like the court scene in the last there's a court scene in the last episode, and it's so intense, and it's like, even though there's not much like shouting or yelling and it's just explanation, but it's like you can feel the intensity of that whole part. So yeah, I it's 100% like, if you still have HBO from when you started watching Game of Thrones, I would recommend that you watch this. If you don't, then
yeah.
find
Well,
your
you
own
missed that. I guess you missed it.
find your own ways
Yeah.
to do it, because that's what I did.
Yeah, we can't recommend streaming, right?
No.
Okay, yeah. So yeah, I agree with you with the final cutscene. The court scene is it's actually brilliant because I feel like everyone in that room is awaiting. Like the people who are hearing the case are expecting him to be, kind of support them and kind of
Yeah.
just brush it over.
Yeah.
And then the three people on trial, and one of them knows that something's up, and he's just like, there's
No,
all these.
I feel like all three of them knew like what the fuck just happened.
I still feel like the
Main
main guy, the middle guy, knew what was up more than the other two, because I guess they didn't really flesh out their characters and their thing, which is fair.
Which is, I mean, there still is quite a bit that happens within the show itself. There's a lot more characters. Everyone has like their own personal storyline and personal conflict that they're going through.
So there was all these like conflicting, like everyone wants something different from
Yeah.
that same courtroom
Yeah.
scene, and it was just brilliant to see. But one thing that I feel like its biggest strength is, I guess two of its biggest strength is none of that conversation felt forced. Everything felt so genuine. Like when they were discussing, what to do, and for example, I don't know what his name is in the show, but
Boris,
yeah, Boris.
the
Right.
minister.
Yeah,
of
the
energy.
minister. Right. He goes like, there's no random jump. He still abides by authority slowly, slowly, and then as soon as he realizes the drastic consequence of it, his tone changes towards the government, but he still maintains that diplomacy. He doesn't just go straight out.
Yeah.
Like he's like, whatever, fuck you guys, fuck
Yeah.
all of you,
Yeah.
just to create drama, just to be. But he still maintains his diplomacy.
And
Realize,
they have to have like some sort of like historical accuracy. I
yeah,
guess.
they do.
If he was like that,
Yeah,
when
but some
this
people,
happened.
try to make it more dramatic than it is.
Yeah.
And they're like, we'll just completely change Boris's character, like now
Yeah.
to be against the government because it increases drama. But I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, they stuck to a lot of like historical accuracy. The only thing that they changed was, instead of having like in the ending when they
Yeah.
showed that the woman character
Yeah, it was
was
fictional.
was fictional, but she was like a combination of
Yeah, an
like
embodiment.
many scientists who were working with the main guy.
Like us off.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. The second strand, sorry, before I forget it, was the cinematography, because Jesus Christ, it was brilliant.
Some of the shots were
Yeah.
so nice.
And what I loved is like the director had these specific slow shots for these terrifying moments when she was hugging her husband who was completely radioactive.
Oh, yeah.
And we all secretly knew she was pregnant, even though she didn't admit it until later on.
Yeah.
And those shots were terrifying. The bridge shot where everyone in slow-mo and you can see the tiny particles, radioactive particles, and everyone's just consuming and the kids are playing, and I was like, this is just brilliant.
Yeah.
And the fact that you can never ever see really the danger,
Yeah.
There's this one dangerous thing, but you never really saw it. It was just there. And
You
just,
know it's there.
You know it's there, but you never see it. So
Yeah.
you just have to experience this fear.
Yeah.
And I thought that was
It's like what's fucking it's like
Bird
Bird
Box.
Box. Yeah. But like you actually like the dangers of it, and you know what actually will happen, even though you can't see it or anything, even though everyone's eyes are open, and it like in the context it's kind of the same, but it's a little bit different in the way it's presented.
eventually the radioactive,
Yeah.
thing didn't start talking and be like, lick us off, lick us off.
That's so
It's too loud, it's too noisy.
funny.
Yeah, suddenly a
so-
radioactive monster comes out because who knows?
Anyways, we digress. Yeah, the show is like fantastic.
It was
It
good.
is definitely one of the best shows. It is. I mean, currently it is the best show ever.
Yeah, according to IMDb.
IMDb.
Yeah. Something interesting that I found out about the show that I thought is Craig Mason, the guy who wrote it. I'll tell you 3 movies he wrote: Hangover, entire Hangover series,
Okay.
Identity Theft,
What?
and all of the scary movies.
No
he has,
way.
He has. If someone posted something, and remember I sent you something, and I was like, I'll save this for the podcast.
Yeah.
His combined Rotten Tomato scores is 30% for every single movie he's written before. Everything he's written before has not gone above 30% on Rotten
Wait,
Tomatoes.
Hangover. The Hangover series didn't do
I-
that well.
I don't know. I don't think so.
Hmm.
But yeah, and so he's created. If you look at the movies he's created, they're all comedy,
Garbage.
garbage, horrible movies. And then you just see this one outlier, which is
It's like
Chernobyl.
fucking 100%.
And I remember seeing that, and I took a step back, and I was like, "This can't be true. He did not write this. There is no way."
And then did you check?
yeah, no, I checked
writer
it. Yeah.
credits for
Yeah, Evan went through I went through, and I was like, there must be something else he's done.
magazine.
Okay, so we've searched all these movies. Look at what he's done till before. This is all he's done, and then he has Chernobyl.
Oh my god.
All his movies have been horrible. They've just been, yeah.
That's insane.
It's impressive.
What?
Yeah, it's actually. I'm gonna put up a graphic over here.
Yeah.
Just to show.
God damn.
It's insane. But yeah, there's actually not much more to say. I would really recommend. The
Yeah,
show.
just go watch the show, because it is like it is it's just 5 episodes each, like 45 minutes. You can do it in like a day or two.
and
you really want to.
and the scientific accuracy of it, the way they explain the scientific concepts behind it is
Yeah.
so brilliant.
The only thing that you might get thrown off, this didn't bother me, but it bothered you, was the accents. They all
Yeah.
have like heavy British accents.
Yeah,
instead of,
for,
like,
and that makes sense because it's with Sky,
Yeah.
with Sky Productions. But for some reason, I walked in and I was just like, "This is going to be in Russian," and I don't know why, but I walked in and I was like, "Okay."
at least even if it was not Russian
Yeah.
or whatever, Ukrainian or whatever, at least they would have like some sort of accent. But no, they had
No.
like thick British
accent,
accents.
yeah.
Most of them.
But I agree with you. Like I can understand why they made that decision.
Yeah. It didn't bother me in this like at all. But I can understand why it would bother some people.
Yeah, and I remember watching the first episode and the scientist started speaking in British, and I was like, because I didn't know about
Yeah.
whatever, I thought maybe he's a British scientist.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
everyone's pretending like everyone's speaking in English to communicate with him, and I was like, oh no, everyone's speaking English. But yeah. So highly recommend. 9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Go watch that shit. And if you have watched it, please let us know how you liked it
Yeah,
in the comments below.
Again, we would like to remind you that this is the first time. We'll hopefully get better at it and more
Yeah.
concise.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Hopefully this works out.
Yeah, maybe next time we'll probably do Jessica Jones
Oh, yeah, that's
season
fair.
3.
That's fair. But that's really hard to cover in 10 minutes, though. I think no.
It's just season 3 because
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
fair.
one season.
Yeah.
Unless you want to do the recap of a previous
No,
two
no,
seasons.
no. Let's just do season 3.
So yeah,
Okay.
next time we'll do Jessica Jones season 3. Till then, adios.
See you.